in the world there are varieties, but in gospel we want to limit the type of sound. And when we limit the type of sound, we limit what God can do. Exactly. We are the one limiting God, not God limiting himself. God has given you a particular sound, but when people release it, they say that sound is not sounding born again. That sound is not sounding spiritual, and you kill a particular wave that would have changed. Hello people, you're welcome to another awesome episode of Live Moments with Timi. My name is Adeoye, and it's such a beautiful day because we have another awesome guest. I've known this guest for quite a while, and I want to officially introduce him. So please just listen. Adeoye Adesanya is a worship minister, songwriter, raised and trained in one of the world's most populous city, Lagos, Nigeria. Adeoye has expressed his unique sound over the years, and its acceptance has been indeed wide. It has continued to grow and evolve in the music space with every passing release. His unique voice remains a tool for God's grace and a medium to reach many. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome my guy, Adeoye Adesanya. Bro, it's so nice to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Timi.
It's a joy.
Huge
That's
pleasure.
Me say if I sabi superstar.
Huge pleasure.
And I brought a superstar.
Oh,
I brought a superstar.
in your mind.
Bro, you're a superstar. I'll forget. You're a superstar.
In your mind.
So you being a worship leader and a music minister, really, how's that been? How did that even start?
Okay, so it all started way back from university, Federal University of Technology, Akure, and
for short,
FUTA. So I was privileged to attend the fellowship, First Quest Students Fellowship, where I actually had my background. Basically, I was able to serve in the choir unit. Like for the very first time, I became a choir member. Yeah, that was in my. That's so funny, right? Yeah, that's so funny, right? The very first time, and it wasn't that I didn't have any voice, but that was just like the perfect time that I found. I was first in, and the rest is history. But I would say that was the entry point for me, which was able to help me make use of my voice and my gift, for God's purpose. Yeah, I'm sure if I didn't get the opportunity, I'll probably be writing love songs right now. Honestly.
Oh, God. Love songs.
Honestly, because I was before then, I only knew Backstreet Boys and Westlife. That was all I knew. That was all I knew. I could sing them in the dream and back to life. It was so much, yeah. So it was when I actually joined the church, a fellowship. Then I started making adjustments in who I listen to and who mentors me musically.
That's so. It's good that you touched on the point that it was in the university, because giving some kind of background to Adeoye, we attended the same church in church denomination, but it was like in the district. I was in like a branch, and we used to go to the district, and I was in the choir, and I did not know Adeoye. I only knew him in school, in the university. So that's why it's good that. So your teen years, you were not in the choir. You were not in children choir. You were not in teens choir.
Not at all.
It's strange, really, because most people maybe started early and all that. But in uni, yes, we know that, okay, Adeoye Adesanya was in the choir. In fact, then we just used to call you Adeoye.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the famous nickname for you, J-Moss, because we wanted to use J-Moss to kill us.
Right?
I'm telling you.
That was who I sounded like then. I probably had my kind of voice texture. Yeah. And he inspired me in a lot of way. Like, I think he had the skills where he had top-notch skills. And you know what drew me most was his tone. I think we had some kind of similar tone, yeah. So it drew me faster to him.
Yeah, I believe it was. I believe he's still, or it was a very great influence on your sound. The way you sound really like, and it's exciting because really I think I'm a fan. As I said, I'm a fan. I'm a fan because right from school, from praise and worship to solos that you get in the choir and all that, it has always been let's see, let me Adeoye sing this song. If Adeoye sing this song go.
Oh
So
my God.
it has always been like that, really. We had fantastic singers in school, and that's the truth. Some of them are still, some of them aren't anymore. But it is glaring. If they had asked me, I wouldn't have picked you first as somebody that would go into to be a full music minister, because you just did it like you were doing it like an hobby, really, not like something that would go into a ministry. And it's a joy to listen to your songs, to get blessed by your songs even beyond school time. So I want to ask about one major thing is the challenges that you faced as a music minister. What are the challenges that you're facing right now as a music minister?
When you say challenges as a music minister, or is it as an artist you're trying to say?
Bro, you are a music minister, you're an artist. What are the challenges that you're going through?
Okay. So as an artist, I will delve in there. As an artist, as an independent artist, yeah, it's needful to stress that as an independent artist, without a label, where you need to actually, get everything done. There's nobody putting you out there, nobody promoting you out there. Nobody is putting your name out in any radio stations or TV, or trying to do any awareness for you. Yeah, so it's a lot of work. Come on, these are stuffs that record labels do, and they spend like 100 million on an artist, and in the first 2 years they're trying to recover that money. You get so, but you says,
sometimes they don't even recover it in 3 years.
Oh, they don't, yeah. But right now you say, you know what, I got $200. I want to spend it on myself. I got $500. Yeah, I want to spend it on myself.
I believe in my talent.
Yeah. So it's a lot of work, because writing song, making sure that it's a standard song, proceeding to getting an artist, and be able to communicate your idea perfectly to a producer. Yeah, and the producer goes on to get your song, recorded, produced rather, and from there, when you're done, you get it registered. You want to make sure that your song is in the right space, and it's not being snatched by somebody else, and before it gets into some legal battles, you want to get it registered, and that's some money also. Afterwards, you proceed to distribution. distribution also is the main thing. Like, it looks like you built a house, you built it from the foundation, and you just leave it, you leave the roof uncovered. That's what promotion is like. You don't promote the song, it just stays there. And if you think it could fly by itself, maybe at the end of maybe 3 months, you can have about, say, 15 views or 15 plays. Yourself, your mother, your dad, maybe some very good friends.
Yourself, like 300 times.
You could play it on behalf of all your friends, and you understand. It's not interesting to actually watch those things, because I personally don't believe that we need to release songs after you get a song, but either you write it by yourself or you receive a song and you spend a lot of money on it. You just keep it and you expect some deal to actually jump on it. And I'm not saying that the Spirit of the Lord doesn't promote. In fact, it helps us so much to promote. And there are some songs that you get directives about, because the Spirit of the Lord will just throw it out there. There are some songs that people don't even intend to promote. They just do it maybe in a basement or in just one small gathering, and it
takes off.
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to dispute that, but at this point, at this level, this I believe is a global song. If you are actually recording a song and you put it on a distribution platform, then you intend to promote it. If you don't, then you believe it's just yours. But if whatever takes it to a distribution platform, then it needs to be promoted. Else, it's just going to gather dust and to make no difference.
So basically,
yes,
the challenges that you're facing is structural.
Structural,
because
in a sense,
a label will have all these structures. A label will have all these structures, from financing to all that. But as an individual or as an independent artist, you have to build that. So it's more like a label boss, and at the same time still being the artist signed to the label.
That's what it is.
So that's next level CEO things, because
that's very, very tasky, to be very honest.
Is it not good that you just stay with the creative / spiritual aspect and leave the structure out, so that you're not overwhelmed? Because I can believe that that's overwhelming.
So the question now is going to be, who are you going to pass that baton?
So is it better to be signed to a label?
I personally do not subscribe to signing up to a label. Why? Reasons being, that means God can't trust you with sound if He even gives you a sound, because the sound that He says you should put right now, that means it's going to be when it's your turn under the record label. That's when the song will go out. And the record label is not going to be moved by one seasonal sound. God is pushing you, God is ministering to you that you got to push out the sound. They are fighting for their money. Whose turn amongst 5 persons? Whose turn is turn to release? And if you release your song maybe 3 or 4 months back, what are you telling us? Just wait. We are working on your song. We are going to make the money we put in, right? So it's still going to take a stretch of time. As to being on your own and be able to get this done, it's a lot of work to actually carry out by yourself. But I don't think a record label would. And I will say this: God's work, many of the times, it comes with some diligence and consistency. Yeah, you need to be consistent about it. You can't just hibernate for like 1 year. You can go back to the dust like so fast. Yeah, right now, music is so evolving. Like right now, it's not like before. So you need to actually be on a game. You're bringing in a game, and mind you, the more you actually release song, the more better you are in this craft. The more refined you are, the more refined that you are getting. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. I just want you. I want you to drive home your point so that I don't interrupt you.
Okay. So the more you write songs, the more you get refined, the more better you are. The more you release songs, the more sharpened you are. For people that actually write songs, right? So I would say being an independent artist is still the cut for me.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but there are labels that give you the independence that you're talking about. There are packages.
The label?
There are labels that have different kind of, there are different deals. There are deals that maybe the label is only distributing for you. There's deals that they are only promoting for you. There are different deals, really. So,
yeah, you're correct about
one
that.
thing I noticed, or what I'm saying is, it can be overwhelming.
Oh, it's heavy, yeah?
You've prayed. You've fasted, you've gotten song, you've written it down, you've followed up with producer, you've gotten it out, it has been mixed and mastered. Now you're already thinking of graphics, you're thinking of video, you're thinking of you're thinking of after now it's out, you're thinking of promotion. Because if you're not careful, without structure, processes are not sustainable.
Oh yeah, sure.
So it means you cannot just drop the song and go to sleep. You have to be awake through the entire process. I don't think
of course.
So over time, a structure has to come in. If not, the process will not be seamless and it will not be sustainable. It's like telling a pastor, before you drop, there's a time a pastor is like a CEO. He's managing the finance. At the same time, he's managing publicity. He's managing everything. But with time, except he wants to kill himself. Imagine a pastor that has 30 branches. If there are no structures in place to check and everything, you will kill yourself.
Oh, that's dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, I know. So what I would say is, for the church the example you actually made now, you find that he didn't just start acquiring people at the very beginning.
Obviously,
he's probably gonna grow into it. I've heard about these deals like you mentioned and all that. Yeah, but to be very honest, you need to grow into them, because most of those guys, they have expectations what you need to have before you can actually jump on them. Yeah, they don't just say okay. Okay.
Nobody wants to pour water inside basket.
You get, yeah. So they need to actually say, okay, you have this, you have this number, okay.
There's potential.
Let's work together.
There's potential.
Yeah, exactly. So they want to, do all of that. Personally, I would say I would probably could be ready for such maybe in a few years, but right now I'll say I'm not ready for that yet. And I'm not saying that I'm kicking out any kind of managerial inputs, or what's it called, or label, but it needs to be well defined. Like it's something that you need to understand well, because there are a lot of things going on there. People put their hands in there and they wish they didn't. You get, so it will be much more frustrating than what you were doing by yourself. So it's something that I've been with for a couple years now. So I know what you're talking about, but I would say it's not the perfect time yet.
Okay. You touched on something that I want us to expatiate on. So I've noticed that most people try to stand on different extremes of the spectrum when it comes to receiving songs and writing songs. So you see that yes, some artists, they'll say, I receive songs, I don't write songs. And you see some people say, yes, I get inspired, but I still, because, okay, you see some artists that are really good, or ministers, because I know that most worship leaders wants to be, they want the differentiation between ministers and artists. So I'm sorry. So
oh, come on.
so
Come
some
on.
ministers, they sit on the extreme of, once the song just come, it's a chorus, they like that, they just, yeah, you drum, you play keyboard, as long as it's, and but you see some sit on the extreme of, the producer must do all there must be everything in it, they cook it, they overcook it and everything. But I've noticed that most people like to stay on an extreme, but I think the balance, there's a place for balance. So what do you have to say about that? Where do we draw the line between, it's an inspiration, yes, but technical development and your technical prowess also comes in. How do we relate that when it comes to the music ministry?
Okay. There are two sides to it now. There are, on the side of production now, you could actually work with someone. One thing I've actually found out about a lot of producers, not all, is they want to make all of their experience producing, all their keyboard experience, all of their syncopation, everything, they want it to reveal on your song. So if you're not careful, or you don't know what you want, they'll just put all the stuff in there, and people will not be able to probably pay attention to your song. I've actually fallen into such before. I need to tell the guy, like, you know what, please, all this thing, do you see how come I gave you that inspiration? Can you go and listen to that recording I sent to you? You see how come? That's what I want to. But this guy will come back and say, bro, he will give me 5 reasons why you need to leave it. This one, I sent him a voice note. He will call me. He will make sure he justify everything. I say, bro, I've heard you. Please, can you go and offload those stuffs? Those things are too heavy. Personally, I know the kind of sound that I produce. I'm not a heavy singer. If you hear me scream at some point, it's not my way. But it looks like these days, if you are not making so much noise, it looks like the anointing is not dropping somehow. I don't need to drop. I don't need to really, raise. Sometimes someone will like, yeah, come on, yes, raise it high. I cannot raise it. I cannot let me fall on this stage. So that's one of the things I've probably found out. Some people just feel that it's until you put so much noise on the sound, or you minister with so much noise, that's when it carries, the unction of the Holy Ghost. I don't believe that.
Beg to differ.
So on my part, writing songs, I don't just sit down to write songs. I don't just sit down and say I want to write songs. It just comes, and I know.
Woman Gbiwani.
Thank you.
For our international audience, it means they brought it.
Yeah. So it just comes to me. It just comes to me. I can be brushing my teeth. I'll just get my recorder straight. I can be jumping, maybe I'm on the train, it just comes. When it comes, I know what I'm looking for is my recorder. If I can be talking to you and it comes, all I want to do is try to lower that conversation and get my recorder. And one of those places that it comes most of the times is, when the sermon is going on and somebody's on the keyboard, just, giving that, ambient sound, that pad. Oh my God, those are the beautiful times it comes. My friends, my close friends know such. Once that kind of stuff happens like that, I just take my phone off my phone and run into the bathroom. Because if one conversation starts, if I don't record it, I'm going to forget it. I have tons, like that's one of the richest thing on my phone. Like I have a lot of all those kind of ideas. And funny enough, when those sounds come, I know what is going to be on that song. I'm not saying I'm looking for one. I know already what is going to be there. So I can spend another 1, 2, 3 months plus making sure that I intensify that intention on that.
So when you receive that inspiration, you are clear. Even though it's a part of the song, you go.
Oh yeah.
You go further to flesh it out.
Oh yes.
So that means you are very involved in the process of your song making. You're not just the type that sends the voice, they send you beats, then you just voice it or something. You are very intentional with your sound.
I'm very intentional. Actually, you can't even leave people to structure your... Yeah, because like I said, a lot of people want to show all they know, all of their experience on your song. From beginning to end, you will see intro that is different intros. Intro that sounds like outro. It's so busy, and they just want to show in the beginning that, man, this is a bad guy that actually produced the song. You understand? But that's not the way to actually start. In fact, one of the posts I posted some days ago, like, simplicity is a new sophistication now. Like simplicity, but there's a whole lot of musicians out there. I don't think they buy that idea. Yeah, especially producers. They actually try a lot to put in. I know some few which I'm working with right now. I know some few that are disciplined. It's what they feel that song needs. If it needs a guitar, if it needs something solemn, if it needs a string, they put that instead of trying to do too much for a song.
The truth is, like your latest single is simple. I like songs that they're simple and the message is pure. The message is there. I could sing it, I could connect to that song. I was saying it that song is a song that just teaches you about gratitude, which is the title though, but it just you can bask in it while it plays. You're just overwhelmed with the presence of God when you listen to it, and it just shows the kind of sound that you have. It's not too, yes, when you listen to it you know that but it's beyond the voice now, and I don't think it's too loaded. It is solemn, it is nice, really. For me, as I said, I'm biased. I'm a fan. So I'm biased. So I'm not going to. But I'm sure that if you this video before it ends, we're gonna drop his link so that you could follow his song. If possible, we could even drop the link in the description so that you could go. Yeah, it's an awesome masterpiece, really. So
thank you so much,
boss. We should be saying thank you for yielding to God for that. Thank you for yielding to God. Okay, so Adeoye, you talked about your background in music. You talked about the fact that you started in the fellowship choir. What were the things that you picked up during this process that has helped your journey so far? What are the things that you learned early that has helped your journey so far as a minister?
Okay. So I really can't take out my my background there. That was in First Quest Student Fellowship. I remember about 3 of our fellowship leaders came flooding my room that day. I've not been to church for say maybe a month or so, and but I think they definitely know that I sing, and they came to visit me in church in my house then, and they encouraged me, and honestly the kind of communication they had with me that day was so prompt. It was so heart healing. Then I just moved into 100 level, I think. Yeah, 100 level. And,
it was 100 level.
I can remember that day very well. They came to meet me in 100 level. Yeah, I think, yeah, it was second semester 100 level I actually jumped into the choir, I guess. Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, thereabout, yeah. So they spoke me into like, we expect you in church on Sunday and all that, yeah. So I showed up in church. As the service ended, I was going to break out. So they just blocked me. They were like, "Oh, but you wanted to sit with the choir. We want to have a quick rehearsal." I'm like, "Are you guys kidding me? Who does that? I just came to church after how many weeks? You guys want to arrest me into the choir?" I knew few of them, which were, leaders that I really respected. And I joined the choir, and that Saturday I was told that I was going to be leading a song for the next Sunday. That means I need to come for the rehearsal on Saturday. But that was seriously, so I'm going to be in church this frequent. Like, that was already an arrest. These times, like I earlier, told you, I was only involved in Backstreet Boys Westlife. So now from that eyes, or from that level, now I need to listen to the likes of Issachar Walker, Don McClurkin and all that. So it was quite a it was quite a time, yeah. But I actually started, and I developed, and I would say what God wanted to do with me was just, He used the music to draw me in, basically. Yeah. Like I say, if I didn't join then, I'll probably be singing some love song right now. I'll be maybe because that was all I've seen more, or that was what I actually saw my voice doing more. It was going to be so pleasing for some kind of romantic scenes, for all funny kind of stuff.
Thank God we are using it to worship God now.
Hallelujah. So my voice was my gift was a tool God used to suck me in, and for to actually get here. Yeah. So I've learned a lot. I've learned about how what calling is really, because when I was in Futa, I didn't know I was going to do this, to be very honest. I didn't know, yeah. But as time went on, my experiences, the occurrences that followed after them, it looks like I was getting into it deeper. It looks like whenever you see this guy, make sure you put him inside your music. He's the head of the music. Whenever you see this guy, anywhere he goes. So I found out that I was always
those leadership
right at the center of that.
You learned it really early.
Oh yeah, so it looks like I found myself there many of the time. Not that I wanted to be there. It just looked like God just gave me that platform. I got here and they made me the leader. I live what's it called? Service. I became leader. I got here. So I started understanding how to lead the choir, like how to actually direct. I only don't know how to play the keyboard, but I know how to give parts, to actually arrange, to do all of that. So it was to some places that I went to, it was like a huge relief for them, because I came in with some experience, with some knowledge and some skill that they probably do not have. So that just brought me forward many places that I actually went to. So that was how it occurred till I started around 2015. I started feeling that okay, I needed to get into it. Although like I had some friends that actually made me understand that God was calling me into this. But
so there were prophetic signs.
What did you say?
There were prophetic signs.
Oh yeah, it was calling me into this, but I didn't. There was a friend that he said, he was like, I'm delaying. You know what? Let me see songs that you've written. If I'm like, sure, I reached that one, and then I only had maybe one or two songs that I caught when I was in an all night in Christ Embassy way back then, and I was showing him. It was like, when are we recording it? I took it to a friend. I took it to a friend, and when it was recorded, I didn't like it. It didn't really stand out to be the kind of sound I wanted to represent me. It didn't have the quality that I expected.
So there was the excellent eye that you were putting into it, because I've noticed that people stand on extremes. There's the people that are saying they don't care about as long as it's from God, and there are some people that are saying it should be excellent. You see the same thing about the technical know-how. People just think, and people forget that for LD balance, you're supposed to finesse. God has given you're an excellent mind. You have an excellent spirit, and whatever you feel you've received or you've gotten from God, it should be carried out with excellence. Yes, we know that it is God that does the increase, but yes, He has given you an excellent mind, and you are supposed to put it in. So that sometimes is missing in a lot of people's journey.
I think you're correct. Some people over spiritualize this stuff, and it looks like people leave the spirit to play, and they just jettison their own inputs, and our God is not an inferior God. So the kind of mind personally that I have, I don't even have a mediocre mind. I don't have a just inferior mind. I believe that anything that should surface out there that represents God, that I'm doing, that I'm putting out there, it must be excellent. It should be like, awesome sound, awesome production. We try to make it look as if the Spirit is probably going to do everything for us, but I bet to differ. It's not always so. We have an input to be able to make sure that thing is excellent. Johnson said something some times ago. He said the Lord told him that if this thing is done excellently, this sound is given excellently, I will come early. Personally, I probably do not need Johnson to even say this. This thing is something that I know from the scratch that I cannot. This is 20.
Anything that is of God should be done excellently. I don't need to it just looks like you go to work, you're putting your excellence, you get. So why will I write a song and produce it and do it less,
distribute it, or if you just do it something shabby, it doesn't speak well.
It doesn't speak well of the kind of God that we've served.
It doesn't. Come on. If Dunson's song and Nathaniel Bassey's song that we watched today, spend time watching and all that, if they were done inferiorly, many of these videos we will not watch them. We will not watch them. They could be powerful, but it's the people that are on their level, on that quality level, that will probably. But where we are going, the world is improving every now and then. There are creatives out there creating stuff also. Come on, excellence needs to be the top notch, especially when we're actually doing things for the ministry.
The truth is that a lot of people underestimate excellence. People don't know that sometimes the reason why somebody will listen to your song is the excellence. Now the message will now get him. But his intention at first was just to listen to it because it was excellent. But later now, the message, yes, we knowing that the message is clothed, the song is clothed with the Spirit of God. Now it can now change his life. I like to give this story anytime I talk about excellence or even the seemingly mundane things that we don't know have an effect. People go to church because of just the choir. Some people go to church because of the graphics. Do you understand? And that was why they came. But they won't stay now because of that, because now they will be arrested by the Spirit of God. But that was why they came. And people forget that excellence is key. And I'll draw your attention, since you've touched on fellowship, I will draw your attention to also fellowship. When the projector came into fellowship, if I remember vividly, it was like around 2009 Yes, 2009, thereabout. And
I mean the projector screen,
yeah,
right?
projector. That was when I know it was used in churches, but I'm talking of student fellowship in FUTA, because I don't know of any other school. So I'm just using Federal University of Technology, Akure, as a case study. I know, and because there were a few fellowships that even had it. And when it came into Foursquare Student Fellowship, I know of someone that told me that he comes to church because of the projector. Because as at then, there was like there was this advent of creatives. They just came and they were doing wonders then. We shout out to Roland, shout out to Toby, shout out to you, because you will say you're part of them.
Yeah.
It's well.
That was where we do our stuff. Yeah.
Thank God at that time there was a pastor that allowed them, because I remember then in service you have short videos that play, we have short graphics work that just go through that to drive in the message that was being preached. So people were coming to service just wanting to see what new would the media do, what's new that the media is going to do today. And
especially the fact that we were students, and we were students, and our minds were opening. We wanted to explore. So every unit was.
They were looking for different ways to drive in that message.
What is this guy going to do today?
Which other way are we going to drive in the message? Which other way are we going to drive in the message? And at the end of the day, excellence. The excellence in delivery of creatives, I'm telling you, added to that church, added to the fellowship at that time, and even encouraged people to stay. I know a lot of them now are even they built a career out of it. Yeah, a lot of people built a career out of it later, because the church is still one of the greatest incubation hubs for creatives, technical people, and all musicians and all that.
100%.
So
100%.
So it's alarming when people let go of excellence and they say they want to hold on to spirituality, and I say you are missing the whole point. The spiritual God, or the Holy Spirit, is an excellent God. You can't take it out of each other. It's intertwined.
Oh yeah.
Daniel had the spirit of excellence. It's the same way of saying Daniel had the Holy Spirit. Yeah, it's the Holy Spirit. It's holy. That's why it's excellent. It's exceptional.
Excellent.
It's exceptional. So it's alarming when people do that. When they just want to take extremes. When you know that if you do it excellently well, at the end of the day, it brings different. It makes, as you said, Minister Dusin said, it makes God come early. It gives God easy pathway to do what He wants to do. It gives Him easy pathway to do what He wants to do. So yes, we've talked about challenges. We've talked about the things. Your background, how your background has shaped you. I would say, in the present in the present music space of the world, because I believe you are not you are the world is your stage.
Oh yeah.
In the spirit of music, what are the things that you feel that we still need to improve on? What are the things that you have noticed that, okay, there are still things like we can get better in this field, because the truth is, whether we like it or not, especially Nigeria is sound right now, both secularly and even is doing waves in the world.
I'll say that again.
But now, from the gospel scene, what are the things that you still feel that we need to do better? We need to adjust. Yeah, we need to do that.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. There's one thing that I actually I've actually spotted, for a while now, which personally it's my interest and it's my desire to actually get done. You find out, talking about secular music right now. I think it was Israel Hilton that was saying something. He said we are just like a pinch. Gospel is like a pinch out of what's the amount of songs that actually comes out in a year or in a day or whatever. Gospel is like a small fraction. It's very, very tiny fraction. That means we have way more secular that has dominated the spaces. Even when you open your Instagram, check out your reels, you find out definitely that there are a whole lot of secular, and some are not secular, they are close to demonic. That honestly, that are out there. Honestly, I think we need more people to actually fill up the space.
We need more people that are daring.
We need more people to fill up the space because
But don't you think the atmosphere in the gospel space chokes a lot of artists?
I'm coming to that. Okay. So I'll say this. I think the atmosphere, personalities, and will I say people's experience? I don't want to say that. But I found out that it's hard for ministers to be able to draw other people in the hand and say, okay, I see that you have a ministry, right? And there is a grace on your life, on your ministry.
Mm-hmm.
We should help this person to stand. You understand?
So there's not a lot of support.
There's no support. I'm just going to say this. I'm not saying this because I just want to, because we are speaking about this. I have about say 2 guys that actually helped in, because one of the things I do is send me your song first, and I can say okay, I'll take care of your studio bill, go and record the song till you distribute the song. You get? So that's one of the things, because when I actually hear some songs, they don't have any means to actually get out there. They don't have the finances, they don't have any stage, they don't have nobody. So many of the time sometimes they are looking up to you. You inspire them with your music. So that itself starts wakening them up. And some people will send me their song, like, this is what I received or this is what I wrote, and I'm like, okay, well, personally I won't listen to this song, can you work on it? And their song, I'm like, okay, awesome, come on, go to the studio, I can support you when you are ready, go and finish I can support you when you're ready. If we have ways of helping people to cross that line, I think it would help us to increase the sounds, the gospel sounds out there. Yeah, to an extent. I see a lot of artists out there. I don't think there are any person they are holding. But when you get to that circular, you see that circular space. There's one person that is out up there. He has maybe about another 4 guys that
that is grooming.
He's paying attention to. They are grooming. That one they are
so
going to cause trouble.
There are more sound coming from that. The volume is a lot, and if you're not careful, it's choking what we have.
That's definitely. So there are more sound. Check out the way these guys are holding their hands. They are holding each other's hands to to rise, holding each other's hands. This one feature on this one. Feature is a problem even on the gospel scene. Just feature. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of issues breaking out here and there. You find out that, I think, to be very clear, let me just bring it out in plain terms. I think there's so much competition in the gospel.
There's competition everywhere. I don't want us to limit it to the gospel. There's competition everywhere.
It's fine to be. It's fine. Why this is my justification to it. Because there is bound to be competition in that place. But see, one of the goals that we have, this is it. We are not singing for ourselves. We are actually doing what? We are actually proclaiming somebody's name. So many of the times we need to just sit down and say, why am I doing this stuff? That's the first thing. Why am I doing this stuff? So am I trying to keep people down for me to stay up there? I don't understand.
Is it for the fame?
People's mindsets. Yeah. People's mindsets get to scare me many of the times. Why? First of all, why am I doing this stuff? Why can't I give somebody my platform to get them in? That's why I'm saying it's fine to have competition out there. But when we look at what we are doing, what we are actually doing, many of the times this gets us deviated from what we are doing. It now becomes self. That's when it becomes self, and you can almost write a song about yourself instead of God at sometimes. Yeah, so I believe there's a lot of competition, unhealthy competition, I would say. I know a few, so it's something that we need to. I don't know. I don't think this can be taken care of, because it looks like it gets worse every now and then, like as time moves on like that. But
that's why we are praying for people like you now. You are there, so it's part of the change that.
Well, everybody wouldn't be like me, to be very honest. What I would like to, because I don't want to start making reference to these guys, because those guys are I don't want to. But the major thing that we need to do is to be able to make sure that we pull other people up, to be able to raise sounds. God is giving people sound, and they can't do anything with it. And at the end of the day, they just let it go.
There's another thing about accepting people's sound, and we don't know that in the world there are varieties. But in gospel, we want to limit the type of sound. And when we limit the type of sound, we limit what God can do. Exactly. We are the one limiting God, not God limiting himself. God has given you a particular sound. But when people release it, they say that sound it's not sounding born again. That sound is not sounding spiritual. And you kill a particular wave that would have changed, because the truth is, there is varieties, and you must even let God. We can't box God in a genre. You can't box him in a particular type.
It's not possible. So there are some people. I remember when I was growing up, there used to be a friend of mine. He lives about 3 or 4 houses away from me. What he does, what he sings every time is Fuji music. And when he starts singing it, I feel like slapping him sometimes, because I'm like, wait, I'm not used to that song at that genre at all. And this guy sings with a lot of excitement. Like, why would somebody be singing Fuji like this? He loves it. It's an obsession. It's an obsession. So many of the times, they are music that we have actually had, we grew up with. Like it or not, if you want to write a song, it's probably going to be on that kind of sound. So for us to say it is this direction, it's going to be very limiting.
What they don't like.
People do that. And imagine somebody coming against you like Great Man Takit now. Great man.
Great and guy, saying fantastic minister of God.
You understand? He's a lyricist. He puts his words together. I love the way he puts his words together. But some person might just say, "Wow, come on."
He's born again, remains small.
Yeah,
Assistant Holy Spirit.
So they are sometimes we can be very too critical about what we are doing. Like I was listening to Gaze Baba and Pastor Femi Lazarus the other day. They're saying that when they that was another big bomb. Like when they want serious fellowship or serious thing, they know who to call. It's not this set of guys.
When we want the Spirit of God, we know who to call. But you people are
We
worldly.
know who to call. Oh yes. Honestly, that was so funny, But the truth of the matter is,
But that's the reality.
the way our
That's the
Christian,
reality.
the way our Christendom is in Africa, we are wide like this. We are not deep. We are just wide. We are covering space like this. We are not deep down. That is what I actually see to be, because sometimes some people, you just ask what's really happening in this, in this space. But honestly, I'm not going to be the one to say everything, right? We will just keep praying. But there needs to be, I wish there's like a principle. There's like a principle that can put everything in its right perspective.
So one thing that happens that will help is when some voices, and when I say voices, people that are looked upon, leaders in faith, extend the hand of fellowship to some of these things. And we see that. We see DJ Pope doing it. Shout out to DJ Pope. You know who they call DJ Pope?
No.
Pastor Podri is called DJ Pope.
Oh, Afrobeats. Okay.
So you see, when you see people that are respected extend a hand of fellowship, you see that it lessens the noise. It lessens the noise, and it gives them.
So there needs to be some clarity, clarity on those sensitive topics.
Exactly.
Yeah, because some personally, I think people's pastors, also, I'll say contribute to this.
True, I agree.
There was there was a certain church. Honestly, some of these things you don't even need to be a pastor before you know that some things are wrong. You can imagine like some choir members on the stage and they are singing 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. I will say, what's that? Honestly, and the pastor was digging it so bad, and I'm like, I think this is what ought to probably happen on the stage, and we leave the stage and probably talk. So what does that 1, 2, 3? What does it amount to? Let's first start analyzing it, because to be very honest, this is what I have known. I don't know how to dance, so I know I don't know how to dance.
No,
I didn't come with that package. That's robotic, right? You see, that robotic, movement. I got that from First Square. Oh God, Lord have mercy. So what that I'm trying to get back to my line of thought. Doing that, what does it amount to? Like, there's a lot of distractions many times when this dance starts in church. Don't let me deviate. Let me go back to, like many times I think pastors need to really make it clear, make some deep understanding about.
Teaching comes in. Teaching comes in. So we must understand that.
So they are not teaching, basically.
No, I'm not saying they are not teaching. But what I'm saying is, anything you see that is either in extreme, that is excess, or that is minimal,
overboard,
it just means that there is need for teaching in that space, revelation in that space. So if we notice, why do we teach? We teach to correct, we teach to edify, we teach to, that's the whole point. So
but
that's what I'm saying. So that all it just shows is that meaning for our
please interpret that
for our international audience, it just means that we still have work to do. The teachers have work to do. The pastors have work to do, which is normal. We are every day we get better. It just means that we still have work to do. There's teachings that need to go in that line. I'm not. See, people are scared when they see error. I'm not really scared when I see error. It just shows you where you need to pay attention to. It just shows you that there's deficiency here. It's just like pain.
For whoever knows that there's a deficiency.
It's like pain.
For
pain
whoever,
shows you there's something wrong. So if you are not,
some people don't. Some people's pain is. Some people are enjoying pain. Don't forget. So see,
pain shows you that there's something wrong here. And what we do is we go fix it. And how do we fix it in the church?
Yeah.
We fix it by teachings.
Teaching.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if who ought to be teaching does not really understand,
then the teacher needs to be taught.
So that's when we now need like a fatherly figure in the body of Christ to be able to analyze stuff. But have we been having such a thing?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying now. That's why I said DJ Pope now. Do you know what it means that see, whether we like it or not, what he's doing is not normal. What he is doing is apostolic. What he's doing, and I'm not saying even just with his teachings and all this. I'm saying what he's doing concerning Afro gospel and bringing up all those guys and supporting them is apostolic.
I know,
because he's sending a crucial message coming from somebody like him.
Yeah.
You know, there are pastors that you expect it from.
Oh yeah.
If you look at him naturally, he's not somebody that you expect it from.
Yeah, he doesn't have gray hair enough.
So at the end of the day, it's apostolic, and it just shows that God has something He wants to do, and anybody that is paying attention should pay attention. Anybody that is discerning would know. Everybody that is discerning, you know?
Yeah, I believe so. Likewise, Gaze Baba, you know, Pastor Femi Lazarus.
What Pastor Femi Lazarus and Gaze Baba did that day? It's not normal.
No, it's not.
That thing, it looks like a normal podcast. It's not a normal podcast. That thing is.
A lot of people need to see that podcast.
That thing is clothed in a lot of dimension with the Spirit of God. It is, and I've even seen a follow-up that it has caused a lot of uproar. It
will.
Has
don't even expect that.
A lot of creatives are reaching out.
No.
I mean, positively, a lot of creatives have started reaching out. So now they are trying to create like a community. They are trying to do all that just to accommodate, because there are a lot of people. It was like they voiced out what a lot of people, the burdens in a lot of people's hearts, and thank God that it came at a time that it has come. And I want to believe God for
honestly
that.
I was,
and if structure,
I was so glad with that.
Structures just need to come in to also keep it going, because the truth is that without structure we will lose it. But if structures come in, why not?
Yeah, structures that make artists, everybody understands that we are of different spices, we are of different color, what's it called now, we are of different touches, we have different touches, but it must be centered that we do this for Christ. Like the
goal is the same, the spirit behind it is the same. It says different expressions, the same spirit, spirit.
It must be.
So we must be quick to know. We must be quick to know.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
It must be. Our generation, this generation is so easily carried away.
Baba, it's not this generation. Every generation has been easily carried away. It's just that
every generation
we know. I'm telling you,
this generation right now, like what we have in our hands, is so distracting.
Yes, honestly, I agree.
In fact, let me take it out.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that when the Bible says there's no temptation that is uncommon to man.
Common to man, yeah.
There is no, everything that we are facing it in a different mode and in a different way, but they also faced it. You understand? We are just facing it in another wave and in another way, but they also faced it. It's just, it might be in a different manner.
Higher magnitude.
It's still the same.
I get you though. I get you.
Adeoye, thank you for coming for this our episode. But before you go,
yeah,
I want to ask you this question. It's a bit sensitive, and I hope that you'll be open enough to tell us.
Okay.
Looking at your past, your life, is there any mistake that you think you made that you can share with us, and how you've been able to overcome it?
Okay, so life is full of lessons,
True.
Full of lessons. Some things you hoped you knew, before that time came and all of that. Yeah, especially on my part to music, I would say that I'd wished I had experiences on. I wish I went to maybe like a music school. Yeah, I really wish. I wish I had knowledge on the piano, on the guitars. I wish I did. I was really deep in this craft. While I was playing around, I don't know what I was doing then. But I wish I had put my hands into it, while I was really young.
So that you have invested in the skill of music.
Yeah. It's just like Mike Jackson. Mike Jackson started by 5 years old. Started singing 5 years old. Yeah. I'm sure he started way before. He was 5 years old that he performed with his siblings on the stage there. That's why you can't compare him with every other. He started too young. I think one of the things that a parent can actually do for a child, that's my notion, my belief, is for you to be able to spot what they know how to do best early in life and start building them. That's the one thing that is my school of thought. That is once I see a child, I'm really rushing to see what that child can do best. And if I have the opportunity, I just tell the parents, man, don't joke with this child. Don't joke with this stuff, because the earlier we see that stuff, the earlier we can fire it. Come on, that person would teach his mates or his colleagues or contemporaries when they get there.
The onus is on the parent to be discerning and discover something unique about their child as early as possible and help them in fanning it.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things you can do for a child. Education is just going to be
A plus.
It helps you A plus, yeah. But our gifts are they are so powerful.
Don't sleep on your children's gift.
Yeah, we sleep on it until it looks like it's getting late. Yeah, basically.
So if you had the opportunity, you would have learned music, or if you had known, you would have learned. So that's why gathering knowledge now. To every young person out there, gather as much knowledge, especially in the area of your passion.
There's knowledge is everywhere right now. Like, then right now you can be inside your room and you'll be learning an instrument.
True.
But then
I've seen people learn instruments on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I do sometimes in here. But those times way back when we were still young, we had no responsibilities. We were still full of energy, and we could try anything. You had time and all of that. So you can display all that, but we don't have those things. We do not have those things way back then. Yeah, but
still,
right now,
it's not an excuse.
This generation,
there were people that learned.
Oh no, it's not an excuse. I see like go on YouTube to I have a guitar, I have a keyboard, so sometimes I'm like, come on, bring it out of the case. I'm like, this new guitar can't just be lying in this black jacket, for crying out loud. And some of my friends will send me some lessons. Sometimes I go on YouTube to check out some lessons, and I'm like, okay, well, as much as I can assimilate, that's fine. If I cannot do so much,
you're already an old
man.
What
I know and all that.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
All right, Adeoye. The world is listening. You can tell the world one thing. What would that be?
If I need to tell the world one thing, well, it's gotta be, we need to actually fill the world with more love and no hate, less competition. Clearly, from history and from realities. This world would, in a blink, will be over. Riches will fade. Yeah. Time will end. Yeah. But love is what transcends now. It can change somebody's life. It can bring a new season. It can bring flourishing and change times, basically. So let's fill the world with more love, and let's take away it. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's love. Key.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much, Superstar Adeoye. Thank you for coming aboard. I know it's a lot. I really appreciate you. And as we say, like, share, subscribe, go in the comments, say something about the video. We'll be in the comments. We'll be looking.
Thank you so much,
for
Timi.
coming week in,
Appreciate
week
you.
out.